Hi, everyone, and welcome to Let's Talk. Today, we'll be talking about something that is affecting Africa big time. The marriages are breaking up pretty fast. And so, the question we ask is it due to the Western influence or the traditional influence itself? Why are African marriages breaking up? Before we continue, I'd like you to please press the subscription button, like, and comment as well, so as to give us that bit of encouragement for us to continue with what we're doing on Let's Talk. So, today, the five traditional beliefs that actually destroy African marriages. Could this be the reason why the marriages are breaking up in Africa pretty fast? And so, let's find out. So, the first one is you must have a male child. Strong one, that is. Most African homes believe in you having the marriage must produce a male child so as to continue with the man's name, the man's family name. In fact, it's expected of you from the in-laws. Your in-law as a lady, your in-laws will make sure that you have a male child. And so you have the women going through all sorts of things, being threatened that they might have to leave their homes because they don't have a male child. So these are things, these are part of the things that really cause the marriage to go through a lot of shaking. It might not be the guy who has a problem with you not having a male child. It might just be his people who just feel that how can you get married to someone that will not give you a male child to continue with the family name. So the male child issue is a bit of a problem for a lot of folks who are married in Africa. And it takes a man that will stand up and say, it doesn't really matter. I don't mind having a female child. I'll keep and take care of my female children. They're all equal. Male, female, they're all equal. There is no issues with that. It's going to take someone that is a bit enlightened, a bit civilized, and be able to stand up for what he believes in. Children are children, regardless of whether they're male or female. So this is one of the major problems that most African marriages go through. That male child stigma. In some cases, some men will have the male child outside and keep, sleeping around with other women to get the male child. And unfortunately, for the wife that is in the house, that's given him female children, when it is time to rig the wheel, in some cases, the man will give everything to the male child, or give 75% of everything to the male child, making his wife at home feel so bad, and the children as well feel so bad. So that male child thing is so strong. Is a traditional belief that we need to deal with. It doesn't really matter if you have a male or female. But some couples now are beginning to find a way out of it. They're like, who cares? Male, female, children are children. So if you have female children, it's okay, train them up. If you have male children, it's okay, train them up as well. So that discrimination has to cease if you want your marriage to really last. It must cease. The second traditional belief is about the domestic issues at home. Most African families believe the woman has to be the one to take care of the home. You must know how to cook, XYZ, and all that stuff. In fact, if they come into your home and the woman, your wife, you're the one doing the cooking, you're the one doing the cleaning, the man's family feels there's something wrong. You probably have him under some kind of evil, diabolical control. So they believe that the man at home should simply sit down and do a few things while the woman should handle the rest of the things. Now we all know that some men are better at cooking than the women. There's no issue to it. So why can't the man take care of the cooking? Why can't the man take care of XYZ in the home? In some cases, when the man is looking for a job and is at home, he can actually take care of the children. But this is the problem we're having in Africa. That sense of superiority in the home is something that has a very strong traditional belief within the communities of Africa. Why should a man be the one to cook while the woman is relaxed? Why should it be the man to clean the house while the man is doing nothing? I believe in equality in the home. There's some things that the woman can do better, fine. There's some things that the man can do better, fine. So if we look at it from that point of view, then the rules are not going to be too hard for you to follow, too rigid for you to follow. Like I said earlier on in the previous one, the man must be strong and insist on running his home the way he has to run his home. If he's a better cook, then let him cook. There's no issue to it. There's no discrimination to it. If the woman is a better cook, fine. If the woman is better at handling money, then let her handle money. If the man is better at handling the money, let him handle the money. The whole thing is about two of you coming together and making sure that everything works out well. And in some cases, some funny cases, the woman might be smarter than the man. So if you have your children bringing homework to you and they realize that the man is not too good at maths and some other things, and they take it to their mom. So there's nothing to feel bad about. These are things that do happen. A lot of women in Africa are getting more educated, they're getting more exposed, they're getting better jobs, they're doing business, and they're doing it pretty well, compared to the male folks. So if you notice that your wife is better at making the money, then please, let's let her make the money. It doesn't mean you shouldn't as a man do your own part, do your own bit to make money. But if she's better in that thing, then let her just go ahead and do it. If she's better in taking care of some business, if you're better in the cooking, like I mentioned, go ahead and do the cooking and let's move on. Well, this one is really about the men and the pressure they go through. Most traditional beliefs in Africa will tell you that the man has to be the one to provide for the whole household. You must find a way of providing for the household. And so you have a lot of men who are under pressure to do a lot of things just to follow that traditional belief. Now, that traditional belief in some cases, or rather in most cases, will put the man so much under pressure that he would walk away from the home, from his household, walk away from the marriage. So, and then you have the man treat the women like slaves because they're the ones bringing in the cash. The man becomes so authoritative in the home, and he just feels that he has a right to do whatever he wants to do in the home. So that belief that the man must provide 100% or a large chunk of money into the home is one of the pressures that African couples do face. And like I mentioned earlier, it's unfortunate if it's the woman that is making more money at a certain time, then it's okay. You don't have to feel that pressure. Go ahead and do as much as you can. Labor as much as you can as a man. But if you can't do 100, then do a certain percentage in the home, and then you can build up on increasing the revenue you bring into the home. So having that belief has put some men under some kind of stress, has stressed up some marriages. That belief that says that the man must be the one to bring most of the money in the house. Well, this fourth point is a bit similar to the one mentioned earlier. And the traditional belief that the woman must not be as rich as the man. That is, the woman should not be as economically vibrant as the man, or the woman should not even be richer than the man, in terms of bringing in cash. The man should always take that position of being higher in terms of bringing out the cash, must have more money than the woman. Now, if you have a woman who comes from a home, quite a wealthy home, and she gets married to someone that's not from such a wealthy home, and she's doing well in her business, and she's bringing more money into the relationship than the man, it could cause a bit of problem. In fact, some men will go through a lot, low self-esteem, depression, because they feel they're not bringing as much cash. So the traditional belief is that your wife should never bring in more money than you do bring into the home. And this can cause that suspicion. Now, like I mentioned, you find out that it's not a problem of the couple. It's oftentimes the in-laws, the people out there, the relations, the friends, the way they will comment on the whole issue. They will try and, emasculate the man, make him feel bad. Oh, you're not bringing as much cash as this, as the wife is bringing in cash. So you're not enough to be. You're not worthy to be called a man. That sort of thing. Quite scary, quite depressing for a lot of men. So these are that issue of cash. It does feel that the woman shouldn't have as much money as the man, and the man must be the one that has more money than the woman. Doesn't really make sense. The fifth one is really something that is a bit sensitive, because you have most traditional marriages. You have the bride price paid from the male family to the woman's family, and in some cases the misconception is that the woman becomes the man's slave. And so in some communities the bride prices are pretty high, pretty expensive. So the man has to borrow money to pay the bride price, has to probably get another guy who had to take a loan from the bank to get married to pay his bride price and all that. So these are things that really put a lot of pressure on the marriage. And after the marriage, the man just feels, look, I've saved life, I'm owing money to pay your bride price. So the next error is that they just feel they have to be I'm now your master. You do my bidding in the home. You don't ask questions, because I labored so much to pay this bride price. For you to come into my home to be my wife, I had to labor to pay the bride price. So you find out that within the first 6-7 months, 1 year, 2 years, there's a bit of tension concerning the marriage, because the man just feels that I did so much for you. So if he asked the lady to do something for him, 12 midnight or 11 midnight, comes back from work and says, "Go and get me my dinner." And the woman says, "So I'm really tired." He gets upset because he just feels like, I paid XYZ bride price on you. It's really sickening to feel that the bride price, like buying over someone, which is really wrong. The bride price it's not about buying over the lady. The bride price is some kind of token of respect that you give to the lady's family, but it's been abused in a lot of ways. In some communities, the bride prices are crazy expensive. I was talking to a taxi man one day, that was like 6-7 years ago, and he told me that they gave him a list for the bride price and it was getting close to 5 million. I saw the list, 4 point something million. He's a taxi man and he's thinking, where do I get money from? He has to buy them a motorbike, he has to buy them cows, goats, quite a number of things for the woman's family, for the woman's father. So the bride price is putting so much pressure on the homes. We really appeal to the African communities to please do something about it. Reduce the bride price. It's not really helping matters. In some communities, you now realize that a lot of the ladies there are not married because of the bride price. The bride price is just too expensive for the men to afford. So these things do happen in some of these African marriages, and it really shakes the marriage in the end. Well, that's it. The 5 African traditional beliefs that can destroy your marriage. The question you probably ask is, how come our grandparents took this thing and it worked for them, but now it's not working for this present generation of married couples? Well, it's because somewhere along the line, they're not taking any nonsense from us. The men are probably telling the women, do I look like a father or a bank manager? Go and get a job and do something with your life and bring some income into the house as well. So, and then the women too are saying, do I look like your chef? Why don't you learn how to cook? Or buy a meal and bring it down and take care of the kids. If you happen to be early enough before I get home, you should take care of everything that you ought to, because they're your kids as well. So the system has changed and the African couples need to change as well. Don't follow your ethnic traditions blindly to the point where it infringes on the happiness of your home. It doesn't make any sense. Don't allow your relations to keep pushing you to do X, Y, Z because they feel that's the tradition, and don't allow anyone to take advantage of you. No, I believe that the couples should sit down and be able to plan what works for them. So thank you for being a part of today's topic. I hope to see you next time, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and yes, comment on it. Let's see what you need to. Let's hear your views. Let's hear what you're saying about this topic as well. Take care and bye.